For the level 1 bridging, we have 2 exercises for you to master. The first is the hip bridge lift. Lie down on your back, place your palms toward the sky, and try to sink your shoulder blades so that they're in your back pockets. Try to bring them down as low as possibly you can. Scoot your butt towards your heels and drive your hips toward the sky as hard as you can. You should be feeling this movement in your hamstrings, in your quads, especially in your glutes, and even in the muscles that run up and down your spine, your spinal erectors. At this point, our goal is to get the hips up as high as we can and prep our body for the future bridging that we will be doing in the program. Do 5 slow and controlled bridge lifts, making sure to squeeze every muscle we possibly can. And on the last one, lift and hold for time. A reasonable goal to shoot for when mastering the level 1 bridging on the shoulder bridge lift would be to hold this position for about 30 to 90 seconds. When you've mastered that bridge, we'll be ready to start working on the next level. In order to get proper extension in bridges that we will be doing in level 3 and beyond, we need to have adequate thoracic spine and shoulder mobility. Placing your hands on a chair or on a table, bring your chest forward, trying to stretch out the top portion of your spine and your shoulder girdle as much as you can. A great way to do this is to move in and out of position very subtly, trying to relax. Another thing we want to be cautious of is not to let our elbow pits face the ground, keeping our shoulders back in the sockets and our thumbs facing toward the sky to make sure we're stretching the proper area and not overstretching the joint capsule. Hold this for 30 to 60 seconds to loosen up your thoracic spine. For the level 2 bridging, we're going to take our hip bridge to the next level. Lie down on your back, get your heels dragged up underneath your butt as much as possible. Place your hands by your head and roll up to the top of your head. As we roll up and roll down, your goal again is to push through those heels, using all the muscles of your leg and all the muscles of your spinal column to extend your spine backwards. Take your time at first, only coming up onto the top of the head, and eventually trying to work your body to the point where you can roll and bring your nose all the way to the ground. On the last rep, after you've pumped up and down, drive your body as far forward as you can, coming into the biggest bridge you can, and hold for time. Again, a great thing to shoot for is holding this position for 30 to 90 seconds to make sure you have adequate mobility in your chest, in your spine, in your hips, and in your shoulders. Hold this position, breathing deeply, trying to bring your chest as far forward as possible, and then come down and relax. In order to counterbalance the exercise we just did, flip over and start in a straddle position with both feet on the ground, spread out, and both hands in front of you. Bring your head to the ground and lean forward onto your head as if you are about to go into a handstand. In this position, you can perform tiny rocks in order to stretch and strengthen your neck muscles in this front bridge position. Again, hold for 30 to 90 seconds, trying to strengthen and stretch the neck in the opposite position of the bridge. For the level 3, we're going to begin our dynamic bridging movement. For this, we're going to use the wrestler's bridge position that we did in level 2. Only each time we push up, I want you to extend the other leg, imagining that you're going to kick over with your body. So extend up, come down. Alternate legs, extending up and coming down, trying to push explosively through the leg that's planted on the ground. Try to do 5 each side, lifting that other leg as high as you can and explosively pushing through the leg on the ground. As you progress with this, I want you to move from just lifting the leg and pushing through the heel to physically jumping off the ground with that other foot. So coming back into a bridge position, kick the leg up and let the other leg leave the ground. Boom. Boom. Just like that. Kicking the leg up, letting the other leg leave the ground. Your goal is to kick up as high as possible as long as your head, neck, and spine feel comfortable. Take your time with this exercise, improving your intensity gradually and making sure to not injure yourself in the process. If you do this right, you will have a strong, healthy spine. If you do this wrong, it won't be a strong, healthy spine. It could potentially injure you. So take your time. The last exercise is coming up to a full gymnastic bridge. So starting in the same position as a wrestler's bridge, put your hands behind you and lift up as high as you can into a full gymnastic bridge position. Try to bring your chest towards the wall that you're facing as far as you possibly can so you get adequate stretch in your thoracic spine and your shoulders. Hold that position for 30 to 60 seconds and try to lift your hips and increase the mobility every single time you practice the gymnastic bridge. For the last exercise, start in the same front bridge position that we started with in the level 2. This time, we're going to initiate as much movement as we can forward and backwards through our neck. You can use your arms for support, or for more of a challenge, you can lift them to your fingertips or perform this just on the top of your head. From a different angle, all you're going to do is go side to side instead of front to back in order to make sure to adequately stretch and strengthen your neck in all the positions. Perform 5 to 10 front to back and 5 to 10 side to side to build adequate strength in your neck muscles. We're going to begin what's called a wrestler's bridge kickover. Here's where the fun really starts to happen. Using a chair from your house or a sturdy object that's roughly 16 to 18 inches in height, bring your feet on top of the chair and come into the wrestler's bridge position. Now, before starting this, you should have mastered the kick-ups in level 3. From here, I want you to push your chest forward, kick over with one leg, and make sure you come all the way over. It's a good idea to get someone to spot you on your first few times trying this exercise. Popping your hips up, and they can basically help you push the leg that's kicking over the other side to make sure you have good confidence in this movement and to make sure that you don't injure yourself. It's important to alternate legs on each rep so that you have adequate mobility and stability on both sides of the body. In order to progress from using a chair or a piece of furniture towards getting all the way down to the ground in our level 5 gymnastic or wrestler's bridge kickovers, you can always use some steps or some wooden blocks. Some great ideas are to use some 2x12 lumber or some 4x12 lumber that you can stack up against a wall to kick off of. Always make sure there's a solid surface behind whatever you're kicking off of so that it doesn't slide out from underneath you. Same as the chair, come into the wrestler's bridge position, put your feet on the edge, and kick over. The lower the surface you're kicking off of, the better results you're going to have with getting towards the ground. We want to make sure it's lower and lower until we're able to do a full kickover. For the next position, we're going to take the gymnastic bridge to the next level. Get comfortable lying down on your back, drag your heels underneath your butt as much as you can. Bring your hands over your shoulders in the gymnastic bridge position. Press up to our gymnastic bridge that you should have mastered from level 3. From here, shift your weight to one arm and lift the other arm and hold in the same position. Try to make sure your pelvis stays in the center and that your spine stays in the center. Take your time as it's easy to go off balance for this exercise. Hold each side for somewhere between 15 and 30 seconds in order to maximize the strength and stability you can gain from the one-arm gymnastic bridge. For the last exercise, we're going to master our neck and spine mobility by working on front bridge turns. By lifting one leg and letting it roll over, you're going to come from a front bridge into a wrestler's bridge. And then by moving your arm and rolling that leg back over, you're going to turn from one place to the other. Take your time to master this, as it is a very challenging skill. Once again, put your head on the ground, lift your leg, and roll it over so that you land into a bridging position. Make sure to have a nice soft surface to do this with, so that when you're practicing this movement, you're taking your time in order to master it. Finally, on to the level 5 bridging. And here is where mastery of bridging realistically begins. Come into a wrestler's bridge and using your 1, 2, 3 count. 1, 2, 3. Push off the ground and bring your leg over from that full bridge. From there, kick back over and alternate sides. Remember, we always want to make sure to do both your right and your left side as we do these kickovers. At first, it may seem slow and controlled. As you become more experienced at it, you can kick back and forth going from right leg to left rather quickly. It should only take you 30 seconds to go back and forth 5 times, and you will have adequate mobility and adequate strength and stability in your spine from performing the wrestler's bridge kickover. Next is called the spider. Keeping your hands and head in the same place, walk your body around your head and hands as if you're going from a back bridge to a front bridge. Again, start slow, taking small baby steps, reaching as far as you can until you let the other leg swing over. Reaching, and let the other leg swing over, just like that. And start slow. Eventually, this movement can be performed extremely fast. And when you do it, again, 5 reps clockwise and 5 reps counterclockwise should only take you 30 seconds. Last is a gymnastic bridge turn. So placing your hand facing the outside of your body, plant the hand and roll over, allowing the shoulders to rotate, and then roll over the opposite way to the other side. Again, take your hand, point your fingers away from your body, shift your weight to that hand, roll the leg over, rotate the shoulder, and bring the other hand into the bridge position, and rotate back to the start. Take your time on this exercise to master it, and make sure you have a good surface to practice on.